Welcome to Game and Grain. I'm your player one, Richard, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We got ourselves a whiskey blind. So grab those controllers, pour yourself a dram, and let's get into it. Today's video is a little bit different. I won this blind from my good buddy, the Whiskey Shaman, while he was doing a guest spot on Doc Martinez's channel, Old Fashioned Ways Plus Plus. That's also where I got this really cool hat. Link down in the description. Now, in this blind, there are 5 bottles. They've stayed in this box since I've received them sometime last week, and I have no idea what's in them. The rules for this blind are as follows. Number 1, I must identify what all 5 bottles have in common. I need to identify which one is a heritage brand, which one has the highest proof, which one has the highest age statement, which one is finished, and which one is not from the United States. After I've made my choices, I will pull off the tape and see how well I did. So, let's get into it. All right, we are ready to go. I have little place cards here with each one of the things that I'm supposed to identify, and to save myself a little bit of time, I went ahead and poured the bottles in, starting with 1 on my right-hand side, all the way down to 5 on the left. As I go through these, I'll give you my tasting notes, nose, appearance, palate, and finish, and then place them accordingly. At the end, we'll take a look at the bottles and see how right and probably mostly how wrong I am with my guesses. So, we're going to go ahead and start off with number 1. I'll go ahead and tell you that just looking at the bottles here, this is probably mid-range as far as color goes. There are a couple of other lighter ones, but on the glass, doesn't seem to be clinging or looking super thick, so I'm going to guess this is probably a lighter proof whiskey just based on how it's hanging onto the glass and the coloration right off the bat. So we're going to go and move on to the nose. It's actually very faint. That's really hard to place. I feel like there's some sort of light fruit that is present, but I can't really put my finger on it. Excuse me. So we'll get it on the taste and see if maybe I can get some more notes on it. That's really good. Very sweet, forward. Does have a little bit of a burn, but I will be honest, I've been having a little bit of reflux going on, so that might be where the burn is coming from. Plus, this is the first pour of the day. But man, is this good. This tastes familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. So, with it being sweet and not what I would put with a characteristic like common bourbon, I'm going to say this is probably the finished one. So I'm going to put this guy right here, bottle number 1. All right, moving on to number 2. Out of the 4 remaining bottles that are here, this one, along with number 5, seem to be the lightest in color. This one, and it could just be reflection from my table or from the tape, but it looks like it's slightly hazier than perhaps the number 5 over here, but very light in color. So we're going to go ahead and get on the nose. I want to say like piney. I don't think that's right. And again, it's something that is familiar. I'm wanting to say this might be something that I would smell That would be similar to Scotch. Oh, I forgot to go back onto the appearance. This definitely has legs. It is holding on to the glass, moving slower. I'm willing to bet that this is probably a Scotch or something that's not from the U.S. with its light color. Its clinginess to the bottle, which makes me think that it's probably an older whiskey in that smell or that scent that I would probably get off of maybe a Scotch or like a malt or something like that. We're going to go in on the taste and see if maybe that helps me figure it out. That's very different than what the nose is. It's very smooth, very light, with like a hint of maybe honey or vanilla, some sort of sweet note that I can't exactly place on the tail end, maybe something candied. Out of my choices that I have left, highest age, highest proof, heritage brand, and not from the US. I don't know where to put this. I am trying to place that note on the finish. I want to say that there's like a woodsy something or another flavor that's just very faint on the end, not in an unpleasant way. I'm going to say for now, not from the US, bottle number 2. All right, on to bottle number 3. I'm going to guess that this one's probably going to be either the highest age or the highest proof based just on the color alone. Out of all 5 bottles, this one has the darkest color to it. So we're going to go ahead and get in on the nose. Well, let's do the appearance first. So this one doesn't want to seem to cling to the glass perhaps like the other one does, or at least not that I can see. I'm not seeing a lot of legs that are on it. Nothing that's dripping down. So we're going to get on the nose. All right, this definitely smells proofier. You do get some of that ethanol that you would typically get on a higher proofed whiskey. All right, it is hanging on to the glass. It's just not as much as number 2. That's not true either. I'm all over the place. So like a dried fruit perhaps that I'm smelling on this. All right, we're going to go in on a taste and see if that helps. That is different. Okay, chocolatey right off the bat, on the very tip of my tongue, but doesn't linger long. But that chocolatey note, that stays. Oh my gosh, that is good. My brain wants to say Detling just because that does seem like the Detling flavor. That chocolatey espresso note is definitely lingering. Coming back on it, there is like a milk chocolatey note to this. Man, that smells good. Almost like, I was going to say like a malted something. There is a note up front that I can't place. Again, it has almost like I want to say piney, but it's just like, it hits there like a herbal flavor that hits you on the tongue at the very beginning and then quickly transitions into that chocolatey espresso note. That is really, really good. Just because of color alone, I'm going to say that this one is probably going to be my highest age. It doesn't burn. There is no, like, when you get a proofy one and you get that Kentucky hug, that burn in the chest, I'm definitely not getting that there. So far, I mean, each one of these have been very different. They're very sweet. I've enjoyed every one of them so far, this one being my favorite. I'll have to go back in on them in a minute. But we got 2 left. We have number 4, which is going to be second darkest compared to number 3. And we have to figure out highest proof and heritage brand. So we're going to go in on number 4. Like I said, this is the second darkest only by a hair. Swirling it in the glass. It is gripping onto the side of the glass, slowly coming down. Again, I think this one, which I believe is number 2, this one, the legs, like it latched on. It was very thick, very viscous, and just the legs themselves were very thick as they were slowly moving down the glass. These two, number 3 and number 4, they do have legs, but they're very thin. It is taking them a while for them to move down the glass. So let's get in on the taste, or the nose. So this one smells like if you took this guy and it was very just muddled, very light, not a lot of anything that's like coming forward. I mean, there's definitely that ethanol, but it's not like super abrasive. I can't place the smell. Sometimes taking a sip will help with the smell or the nose later. So we're going to go ahead and get on the sip. All right. While good, the flavor is not very, it's not in your face. It's not punchy. Like this one right here, that one was very much like in your face. The strong, like malted barley, chocolatey notes. This one is, like I said, very muddled. I feel like as far as flavor goes, it's probably on par with number 1. It tastes good, but then again, it's also not something super abrasive, overwhelming. Probably a lighter proof, which makes me wonder, do I need to move some of these guys here? Does not taste like something. Actually, now that I say that, I think I know where I'm going to put it. All right. I don't know the brand, but I have a feeling that this is probably a heritage brand. It's probably going to be something like a Russell's or Wild Turkey, Jim Beam, something from that lineup. It is sweet, but again, it's something that you could have like an everyday drinker. It's not going to be something super abrasive. Very delicious. So I'm going to put that there, which makes me wonder, am I correct in thinking that this one is going to be the highest proof? This one, like I said, is going to be one of the lightest out of the 5 that we have here. I might have to change the order in which these are, but number 5 is very light in color. Let's give it a little twirl. Again, this one seems very thin, very similar to number 1. Like I said, very light in color, which we would have to do some rearranging here because the highest proof one is the only spot that I have left. So we're going to get in on the nose. Whoa. Shaman, you're throwing me for a loop. Very sweet, almost candy-like. I can't place it. Again, there's that like very faint hint of like herbaliness. I want to say pine. I'm wondering if maybe there's something in my glass that's making me think that. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get in on the taste. Cheers. All right, very different from everything else. Again, that sweet note is very present. It does have a slight floral note to it. I say floral, like herbally. I mean, it's good. But the earthy, there we go, like hay or something like that. It's very reminiscent of what I would think of like with Frey Ranch. What are some of those other ones? Blue Note, perhaps. But definitely not the highest proof, which is really making me second guess some of my choices here. We're going to go in one more time. Okay, so when I'm glad that I figured out that grassiness, that hay. That's what I've been picking up on some of these other ones too. So this is again is making me think of Frey Ranch, very light, scented or on the nose, but really really good. All right, so I got to do some changing here. So we're going to put this one at highest proof for now, just so it has some place to live. But I don't think that that's where it's going to stay. When I think of heritage brands, this is one I'm thinking about. Nope, he's going to stay there. Man, this is tough. This is tough. I think I'm going to flip-flop these. I think I'm going to move highest proof and highest age out of the way. If this is a heritage brand, the flavor, well, if it's highest age, even though it's got a darker color, it should be stronger, I would think, unless they water it down or proof it down, which some places do. So that could be like a Russell's 10 or 13 or 15. I don't think that's what that is, but if it is, it's really great. We're going to go try this one again. Coming back to this one, okay, so I am picking up some of the similar grassy notes that I got from this one here, bottle number 5. But again, very faint, not like in your face, which is really weird because it has those thick legs that I was telling you about. I'm wondering if that's a blend of something. There's those grassy notes that are coming through. Very sweet. All right. I think I'm going to leave these where they are. Besides the Frey Ranch and possibly the Detling, I'm not sure of what the names are. I think this guy right here must be like a Russell's or a Jim Beam or something like that. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at these. Oh, I have to say what they have in common. Oh, okay. What they have in common. What do they have in common? What do they have in common? Can't be they're all from the U.S. because one is obviously not from the United States. The easy thing to say is that they're all whiskeys, but that's not good. Bourbons also. They're not a single malt. I'm going to take the easy road out. I'm going to say, I can't do that either. All right. I am going to, golly. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess would be these are all whiskeys I've never had before. That'd be a cop out. I can't say they're all craft because one is a heritage brand, which means that it's been around for a while. It's like the OGs. Non-Texas brand because that's where Whiskey Shaman is from. All right. I'm going to say that they all have a high percentage of corn. Every single one of these was sweet, which leads me to believe that they were probably all well, it couldn't be a bourbon because bourbon's only from the United States. But I'm going to say that they all have a very high percentage of corn, at least we'll say 70% or above. I can't really think of anything else that they would have in common. Again, I'm still fairly new to whiskey, and so this is my very first blind. We'll just have to figure it out. So, all right, we're going to reveal the tape starting from my right and see how well I did. So, this is number 2. This is the one I chose to be not from the United States. I was wrong. This is Sentinel of the Desert Straight Rye Whiskey finished with used Whiskey Del Bach barrels. 3 years, 46% APB from Indiana and Arizona. I am very happy that Whiskey Shaman sent me this. It's probably hard to see. He recently did a podcast with the guys, the master distiller from Whiskey Del Bach. Blown away by the things that they're doing there. Really, really cool. So I'm happy to have this sample. But very clearly, Arizona is in the United States. So I messed that one up. All right, number 4, I said this is the Heritage brand. So I'm thinking that this is probably like a Russell's or a Wild Turkey. Okay, I might have gotten this one. This is a Michter's Barrel Strength Rye from Kentucky, 6 to 8 years, 55% APB non-finished. So I don't typically gravitate towards rye whiskey, but that was really good. So I will definitely be checking out Michter's if I can find it. All right, this is the one that I said was finished. This is bottle number 1. Come on, fingernails. All right, let's see. Finished whiskey. Hey, here we go. Hard Truth Distilling. Straight rye whiskey finished in cognac. Can't pronounce that one. PX sherry and PX brandy bottles. 58.4% APB. 3+ years, Indiana, but not MGP. So, unless one of these other ones is finished, we're doing pretty good. And I think I know what they all have in common, which would be something I wouldn't pick up because I don't typically drink this type of whiskey. All right, highest proof, number 3. Let's see if I got it. Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to have to pick up some of this. This is Balcones Texas Rye Whiskey, cast strength single barrel, 4+ years, 73.2% APB. That explains the burn, but holy crap, this is phenomenal. I can't wait to try the rest of that. So I think I got these 2 right so far. Michter's, which I would think would be a heritage brand. Okay, so that means that this guy and this guy probably would have to be in the wrong place. This one is a 3+ year. Let's see if number 5, which I picked for the highest age, is supposed to be not from the US. All right, so did I get this one right? No, I didn't. Maybe. Let's see. Larkinen Bourbon Company, Decade, 100% rye whiskey finished in cognac cast, 10 years, 61.2 APB. Now it says Canada/Kentucky. So that leads me to believe that this one goes here. However, this does say 10-year. Is there one that's higher than a 10-year? Because that technically should go there. This is 3, so that shouldn't go there. 4 plus, 3 plus, 6 to 8, and 10. So this one could be, I mean, this one has to be, right? It has to be not from the US because it does say Canada, but it also could fit under the highest age, which would be 10 plus years. So what do these 5 have in common? They're all rye whiskey. I don't prefer rye whiskey. I typically don't gravitate towards them, but all of these are phenomenal. So I'm definitely going to have to go back and get myself some rye whiskey. Man, that Balcones is really good. The highest proof. Whew. All right, guys. I appreciate you staying with me until the end. All these are whiskeys I've never had before, and all of them are phenomenal. Whiskey Shaman, thank you so much for sending me this blind. This was so much fun. I actually have another blind sent to me from Mr. Shaman that we'll be having to do later on. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this type of video, please give it a like. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe. Have you ever tried doing a blind? If so, what type of blind? Is it all like weeded? Is it a mystery like this? All finished? Just share with me what type of blind you have done, if you have, down in the comments below. All right, guys, I certainly appreciate you watching this video and sticking to the end. I'm your favorite player one, Richard. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.